Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd, and I am a huge fan of cars used in old British TV series filmed between the late 1950s and late 1990s. Join me on a journey as we look back on over 40 years of British television and its relationship with the automobile. I made a selection of videos last year talking about a lot of these series, and I'm doing it again to make them even better. Well, this is going to be an exciting one. Made by TVS. Today we're looking at C.A.T.S, which was sort of a rival to Dempsey and Makepeace because it's made by a different ITV region. C.A.T.S stands for Covert Activities Thames Section, and it was filmed between late 1984 and late 1986 and broadcast between April 1985 and April 1987 as far as I'm aware. C.A.T.S stars Jill Gascoigne as Maggie Forbes, Leslie Ash, yes, the Leslie Ash, as Frederica Smith, and then Don Warrington as Nigel Beaumont. For the first series, Rosalind Landor played Prunella Standfast, but she was replaced in the second series by Tracy-Louise Ward, also known as Tracy Worcester, who plays a character called Tessa Robinson. Covert Activities Thames Section is a sort of branch of the Home Office which deals with crime and things like that around the Medway towns and the ports on the south coast. TVS was the regional contractor for ITV between 1982 and 1992, and they made this series on 35mm film. A lot of the directors and writers have been involved in things like The Professionals, Dempsey and Makepeace, also the Avengers and the New Avengers. Terence Feely, who was the creator, had already written for the Avengers, the New Avengers, The Saint, Return of the Saint, and also The Persuaders, and The Prisoner actually too. The four main ladies were involved in the C.A.T.S program. In the first series, it's actually got another element to it in that they were able to operate out of an office that was supposed to be a private inquiry agency, hence Eyes, private detectives. That was dropped from the second series onwards, so Cat's Eyes really doesn't have any meaning from the second series onwards, other than sort of, you know, being a nice title. I think it's a shame that they dropped a lot of elements from the first series. They dropped the music from the first series. You've just heard the first series theme tune, which I think is very good. I will put the second series and third series theme tune at the end of the episode so you can hear that and compare the two. I don't know why they dropped that. I don't know why they dropped the sort of private inquiry agency front for their activities. I'm not really sure why. Nigel Beaumont, played by Don Warrington, is probably my favourite character out of all of them. Not to say that Jill Gascoigne, Leslie Ash and Tracy-Louise Ward aren't very good, because they are. Rosalind Landor I'm not a fan of, I have to say. She wasn't a fantastic character as far as I know. My lady wife completely disagrees with me. She thinks Rosalind Landor was pretty good. I don't agree with that, I'm afraid. I think Tracy-Louise Ward is better. The series was filmed based in Maidstone, actually. TVS had a new studio in Maidstone, which was their eastern studio. They had a western studio in Northam, Southampton, which is very, very near where we are at the moment, actually. You do occasionally see places like Winchester and Lyndhurst and Alresford appearing in Cat's Eyes, but mainly it's sort of Rochester, Chatham, Maidstone, that kind of area. Right down where near Mr. Richardson from Furious Driving lives, actually. There's a number of places I recognise from Cat's Eyes when I've been down there. So let's talk about some cars, because particularly if you're a fan of Fords, I know a lot of you are, then there's an awful lot for you to get your teeth into. Cat's Eyes exists in a very strange position in that the copyright paperwork for distribution was lost a few years ago. TVS lost their franchise in 1992 and were replaced by Meridian Television. In the meantime, the archive for TVS was bought by a company called the Family Channel, and so you'll see the Family Channel logo on loads of Cat's Eyes stuff. However, somebody else took over the Family Channel afterward that, and although you saw repeats of Cat's Eyes on the Family Channel in the 1990s, subsequently no one has been able to release it on DVD or anything, because nobody knows who owns the rights to Cat's Eyes. That's right, nobody knows who owns the rights to Cat's Eyes. So you will never see a DVD release at the moment. You won't see it on streaming services. The only way you can watch Cat's Eyes these days, unless you've got an old VHS copy from the 1980s that you recorded off the TV, is for you to look on the internet and have a nice time. So I had a nice time this afternoon finding images of cars for you, which is why they're all really, really bad quality. I imagine they're off domestic VHS recordings from the period. Anyway, let's talk about the main cars that they used in the first series of Cat's Eyes. Leslie Ash and Fred Smith, she had a Fiesta XR2, A38 TJN. Pre-Standfast, Rosalind Landor, she had an Escort 1.6i Cabriolet, B348 AOO. You actually see that in the title sequence of Cat's Eyes for the first series. Maggie Forbes, Jill Gascoigne, she had an Escort Mark III 1.6 gear, B997 YEV. And Don Warrington, Nigel Beaumont. He didn't really drive his own car in the first series, as far as I remember. He was driven around in a Daimler DS 420 limousine, 570 HLX, although that number plate changes later in the series. In the second series, literally everything changed, and we had two identical 1985 Ford Escort RS Turbos. Now, they're based on a Mark III Escort, but they're known as Series 1 RS Turbos. One is white, which a lot of them were, and one is a unique car. It's Azure Blue. It's the only RS Turbo Series 1 made in Azure Blue. That was for Tessa Robinson, Tracy-Louise Ward, and Leslie Ash has the white one. Maggie Forbes, Jill Gascoigne, she's got a much more appropriate car, I think, for someone of her standing. She has a post-facelift Mark I Sierra. So it's before the big 87 facelift, but it's not the original type. So it's a Sierra gear. I don't know what engine size it is. Someone will have to tell me about that. The number plates of these three cars are consecutive. The two RS Turbos are C220 HVW, the white one, C221 HVW, the blue one, and the Sierra's C222 HVW. It's nice of Ford to do that for them, isn't it? Nigel Beaumont, he changed driving his own car a bit more, and he had a 1981 Jaguar XJS V12 PWR 626W. For the final series of C.A.T.S Eyes, there was a bit of a short one. It was only 7 episodes. I don't know why they cancelled it, actually. The main cars were 1986 Sierra Gear, D80 RVW, and then two more RS Turbos, this time based on the Mark Ford Escort, known as a Series 2 RS Turbo. They were very early press cars, so from sort of, I think, August, September 1986. The white one is D975 PVW. The blue one, again, is Your Blue, the only one made in that colour. D974 PVW. Now, the C.A.T.S Eyes official website says that Nigel Beaumont didn't have an official car in the last series of C.A.T.S Eyes, which is complete and utter nonsense. He did have an official car, and I'm very excited about it. It's a 1986 Rover 820 Sterling C824 ARW, with all possibility that was actually supplied by Austin Rover themselves. Because C.A.T.S Eyes isn't widely available on DVD or on streaming services, although, you know, you can just find it if you want. The information on cars of the series is not particularly good. However, I have done my research and I found just a sample of interesting cars to show you. So, in the episode Crack Up, there is a 1985 Mark II Volkswagen Golf GTI 3-door C547 PPA. In the episode One Away, which is one of my favourite episodes of C.A.T.S Eyes, there is a 1977 Triumph Stag Mark II UOA 332S. From Birmingham plate on that. I wonder if that was anything to do with a press car. Anyway, in the episode One Away, Ray Winston, yes, V. Ray Winston, is driven around in a 1980 Ford Cortina L Estate. I don't know if that's a 1.6 or what it is. I can't really tell. Information is not great about it. GYH421W. In the episode Freeze Heat, there's a couple of interesting cars. One of them is a 1984 Lotus Eclat, used in a car chase on Brands Hatch in the snow, B811SAH. Later in the episode, there's another car chase down at the docks with a 1983 Alfa Sud TI, A178NYP. I suspect that one's been scrapped, actually. And then in Country Weekend, we're getting into sort of cars really from my youth that I would see around all the time when I was younger now. 1986 Peugeot 309 C377APX. It's a red one. I don't know what the trim is on that. Just a very early 309. It's weird to see this and, you know, something like C.A.T.S Eyes, but there it is. Let's now talk about some more cars from the earlier series. So in Goodbye Jane Wren, which is the 90-minute pilot episode for C.A.T.S Eyes, there are two BMWs. I suspect they're press cars because they have quite similar number plates. A 985 BMW 735i, B735, sorry, GDP, interesting choice there. A 316 as well in the same episode, 84, B536EDP. In episode Frightmare, there is a Ford Granada Scorpio. Now, the Granada Scorpio was sort of predecessor to things like the Scorpio Ultima and things like that. The Granada wasn't called the Scorpio in this country, although the Scorpio was just a top trim level of it. And it was launched probably sort of April 85. The Mark IIs continued into production for quite a long time after that, but there is a brand new 85 model Ford Granada Scorpio in the Frightmare episode, B60 COO, which I think is actually from some of the dealer brochures. That's interesting. In Goodbye Jenny Wren, there is a 1984 Talbot-Matra Rancho, one of the last ranchos made, I believe, which is fascinating, really. Also, Goodbye Jenny Wren, there's a 1974 Porsche 911, which gets in a nice chase with the Escort Cabriolet. And in With Vinegar with Brown Paper, there's another XJS, which looks like it's a modified one. It's a 76 XJS OLX 411P. So there we are, Cat's Eye. I do apologise for the weird last frame there. I had a problem turning the camera off. Is Cat's Eye worth watching in 2020? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's actually sort of on the par with something like Dempsey and Makepeace, really. Is it as good as the Professionals? Probably not. Is it as good as the Avengers? No. But I quite like it. If you can find episodes of Cat's Eye, I'm not going to tell you where to look, but if you can find them, I definitely think it's worth having a look. And you can spot some other cars as well. There's plenty of them out there. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of Cars on Television. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Like this video and leave a comment below. Also have a look at my Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, and my Instagram. Just search for Lloyd Vehicle Consulting.